All right, Ryan, let's take a look at your paper. MLA format first. This is good. You got a space here, so you can move everything up. You don't have a title, so you're going to have to skip down a line, put a title in. I know you didn't write this on the 11th of November. Your due date was December 7th, so that should probably be the date in there. All right, so you start off with a series of questions. They're not bad. They're not completely the most original, but they're not bad. Well, here's a solution for you. This would be like a colon introducing this list here. Work harder, be positive, and never settle. So you take out this because you got another and down here. Never settle for less than the universe, comma, and never give up on your dreams. Now, one thing that you need to realize that you have to, at some point, state there are steps that are going to make you rich and famous. I don't know if you really um, you say with these simple and well thought out steps, you will have the ability to become rich and famous within a year or two. Okay? Now, here's the problem. You actually list steps here which aren't your steps at all. In fact, nowhere in your introduction are your main points laid out. So, looking your best, I think the next one is on knowing what to sell, be smart about what your product is. Remember, in your introduction, you got to list those things. Okay? So, attention getter, then there's a plan that will help you become rich and famous. Some steps, some well thought out steps will allow you to become rich and famous within a year or two. Then you list what the steps are. Then you go on to your thesis statement. Now, once you follow that order, you'll be on the right track. You use a an outside source here. A, don't underline and italicize it. B, since it is an outside source, is this a direct quote? Did you just steal it word for word? If so, you got to put quotations around it. If not, and even if so, you need to have in-text citation. So after this should be parentheses, and then whatever shows up first in your works cited entry at the end, and we'll go back and look at that, or we'll go look at that at the end of this. But that's got to be there. Same thing with this one. Is it a direct quote? Then it needs quotes around it. If it's not, and even if it is, you got to have an in-text citation to tell me that this is not your own words, that you got it from somewhere else. I would argue that this needs to go first. Like, I would start with that. And then talk about, do you struggle with it? You feel like you have no talent? There's a solution and a few easy steps that will make you feel this way. And your body paragraphs seem to be about the idea of selling. Like, it looks like you're some kind of business person. So make sure that that part is clear here. This is a weak thesis statement. There aren't a million ways for you to become rich and famous. You're going to tell me the one way to become rich and famous. So basically, by following these steps, and then you need a theme. What do all of these have in common? You don't have that real theme clear in here, so you'll need to work on that. Okay, so for your topic sentence, step one, don't use just a comma. Step one is to look your best because beauty pays. All right, so that would be a sample topic sentence, so the comma there doesn't work there. Looks matter. You have again, your outside source is good. Like, I think this is a really good source to use, but it's not cited, so you got to cite that. Now, Ryan, I'm gonna harp on you a little bit. You got a lot of punctuation errors and word choice errors. Your confidence doesn't matter. I know you live in Alma, but we're gonna try to make sure that we have the correct verb choices there. Your confidence doesn't matter, but looks do in the selling business. Here's a run-on sentence here. Act like you're always being watched, then you won't have to worry about it. So you might want to be specific about why this makes sense. And again, if looks matter, you want to be specific with what you need to do. Like, what kind of clothes do I need to buy? Obviously, we're talking about business a little bit. So do I need to wear a three-piece suit? Do I need to wear, if I'm a guy, if I'm a girl, do I need to wear this? So make sure you have that clear. Exercising is the cheapest way to go. Well, then give me advice. What should I do? Exercise every day, every other day, and then maybe you can get into if you don't want to spend $1,000 on makeup and plastic surgery. And if all is the option, choose that option. That works great too. So I don't exactly know what this means. This is the wrong to, and you use it again later on. So make sure that you know the correct two. That's why we're working on homophones in class. Looking good is the first step in becoming rich and famous. You already said that. Without the step, you'll achieve nothing and won't make a single penny. So there's a good voice, at least. It can't be stressed enough. Step one, look good, and you'll become rich and famous. Again, you're repeating yourself. Add some more details. Add some more unique imagery, something in there. And once you have a thesis statement that's strong, it'll be easier to write these body paragraphs. And what your paper really is lacking, Ryan, is a real clear focus, because in this paragraph, the same comma thing with your topic sentence, right? Be smart about what your product is. For you, just be specific. The second step, once you dress for success, your second step is to start selling blank, whatever it is. Now, you used the example of perfume, which is fine, but I think being really clear and straightforward is going to help your paper. Time will never run out. Well, Ryan, I hate to break this to you, but time will run out eventually for you. But you could say, take time to plan a product that will sell across the world. I think that statement is good. For example, if you want to start with perfumes, which I think is an interesting way to go, but that's cool, you would target female buyers, B-U-Y-E-R-S, so change that. You never know. Just get rid of that. That's just a little side comment. You have a run-on sentence here that's way crazy. Both of those are run-on sentence, and I don't even know how to break up the second one. And take time, that's all, and there are many different kinds of products you can make. So it's just a really weirdly, awkwardly worded sentence. But see how short this paragraph is? It's because you don't have anything to talk about. And there's no specific concepts that you're bringing up other than the whole perfume thing. But other than that, there's nothing that you can bring up. An outside source would help. You could find a website that's all about how to sell a product. Actually, that would work better with your next topic, I guess, with target a specific consumer. But maybe talk about what products are hot right now, what are people buying right now, or find an article that it's about what people are going to be buying in 10 years, and then that could be kind of where you want to go. So that would be something that you could do. You need a transition statement, actually in both paragraphs. You need a transition statement into the next step so I know where you're going. Alright, the problem with this paragraph, Ryan, is it pretty much should be lumped in with the last paragraph, because you talk, again, you give one example, designing t-shirts. These are great, so there's a run-on sentence. But again, because it's depending on what you want to sell, it's hard to be specific. It should be close to your heart, but again, that's you already said that here, whatever your heart desires, so you're repeating yourself again. A target specific consumer comes in. Now, I know you got this from an outside source because I'm pretty sure you don't know what a target specific consumer is. So this is where I need to see some outside sources. You got capitalization here. By targeting a specific consumer, comma, you will boost your profits in business, who are most likely to buy from you. There are also questions to ask yourself when doing this to help you target a consumer. So no comma there. Correct use of a colon. And in fact, actually, I would just put a period there, since you're going to go into a bunch of questions. You got a space issue here. You got a lot of stuff that needs to have an outside source to it. And again, this is all statistics you got from somewhere. I need to know where you got it from. But again, I would combine the last two paragraphs together into one. Alright, so now you need to advertise and make a profit after you figure out what your product is and who you're targeting. The problem with this, Ryan, is this whole paragraph is so not even your voice, and literally is just stuff ripped from the internet, again, with no in-text citation. I don't have any clue where any of this information came from. But most of it, like, do I really need to know how many stores there are? Like, how does that help me with advertising and making a profit? I guess if I'm trying to sell it to specific stores, is the last and most fun advertising. So this is a run-on sentence. But you say all this, then you go into how much an ad costs. Commercials will literally pay for themselves. There are many ways to advertise run-on sentence. Here's a short list and their definitions. So all you're doing is giving me this list. I literally probably could just copy and paste this from the internet. So all of this is just stuff about how to advertise. But the purpose of this paper, Ryan, really was to see your voice. I wanted to see you, tell me some original ideas for how to be rich and famous, and use some outside sources to kind of just supplement what you're saying. But you literally, with this paragraph, just used outside sources for everything. You got a weird gap here. There are thousands, capitalizations of ways you as a person can advertise a product. Space issue, capitalization issue, word choice issue, and use very twice in the same sentence, and is very necessary to do. Well, if it's necessary, you don't need to put very there. It's just necessary. Okay? All right. Conclusion. Becoming rich and famous doesn't happen in a blink of an eye, nor overnight. Space issue. Run-on sentence. It takes time. Management. Well thoughts. Like, I have to think about wells that are in the ground. Mostly time. Wow. Ryan, so we got to go back and really think about, read this out loud and see if it makes sense to you. And I really need to figure out where you're getting this fountain of youth, because you are never going to die, which is awesome. Time is endless. Remember conclusion. Repeat your thesis. One sentence of summary per body paragraph, and then on a clincher. You don't have a clincher here at the end. You don't take any time to review. And this is your only source. One single website. No works cited page, header, no other. I know you got it from more than one source, so definitely need a lot of work on that. Okay, Ryan, you got a lot of work to do, buddy. Come talk to me. I'd love to help you make this paper better.